Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Zone. This is the Noel Zone here. Hope you're all doing very well indeed. We will get into the EU Migration Pact in just a moment. That vote or that stuff is not happening till later on tonight. So I may be live again later on. It depends on how it goes. But I do want to start off with this. So, News Talk FM have put up an article. Now, I'm not sort of publicity. So, I know a lot of channels share articles and all this, but you can get around it by you don't read the whole article and basically give your opinion on it. So, News Talk, the reason why I want to bring this up because a lot of people have noticed that this year during Pride Month, it's been far more low key than it has in previous years. Now, for me, I think that's a good thing. The bottom line is that I know a lot of people in the so-called LGBTQ plus community, and a lot of them in the community just want to get on with it like the rest of us and don't subscribe to the lunatics who are running rampant all over the place. So for them, they're actually delighted that it's a bit low key, that it's not being pushed by the media as much. But this is what you're going to start to see from the media. Now, you've seen it in the UK, you've seen it in America, you've pretty much seen it in any European country that has been pushing against the transgender ideology and all of the other nonsense that goes with it. And we have seen now that the media is shifting, and they've been coming out with, we've already always heard this narrative from the activists, which is people are trying to, there's a genocide of trans people and all of this sort of nonsense that they actually come out with. So they've been coming out with all of this rhetoric for years, but now the media are starting to go along with the narrative. And this is very worrying because we've already got the racist narrative being pushed by the media, but now they're going to push this homophobic narrative. So Wicklow Pride has postponed an event in Newtown Mount Kennedy after claiming to receive threats of protests from a small minority of locals. So Wicklow Pride was going to set up an event in Newtown Mount Kennedy, and a few people, rightly so, parents more than likely, came out and complained about it. So now the media, apparently it's news, and the media have to report on it. Now, in Clonmel recently, an actual Pride event did take place. And we have seen the Irish nationalists in this country go around and stand up against this absolute indoctrination, and that's what it is, of our children, brainwashing them into thinking that they may be born in the wrong body and all of this other stuff, which is in my opinion a crime against humanity. So a few people complained, and they call it an attack. Right? Wicklow Pride postpones event following threats and baseless attacks. Young people's health, mental health, and welfare is our priority, says Wicklow Pride. And if welfare and children were your priority, you wouldn't be exposing them to this absolute nonsense. Okay? So those people, so They were going to have a rainbow disco, and it was scheduled for the 30th of June, and would be postponed. The decision wasn't made lightly, and it's a priority is on the safety and well-being of the LGBTQ plus community, particularly young people. And this is the issue. It's the indoctrinate. See, the activists in this country need to understand one thing, right? Nobody had a problem with the LGBTQ plus community or drag queens or any of that other nonsense until they start involving children into it, right? And as soon as you start involving children into it, there was always going to be a backlash. So don't be playing the victim and crying and saying you don't understand why this is happening, when we have seen cases all over the world of certain activists being found out to be in possession of certain materials involving children. Okay? Now, I know before the left come out and say, well, straight people know the things like we know. We know. But when you're pushing a dangerous ideology like this, and these people are demanding access to our children, right? And then some of them are being exposed for who they truly are, which is scumbags, you know, people that should be burning in the pits of hell for what they've done, you know, then yes, it's going to become an issue. So, you know, I'm delighted the event was cancelled, and this is what needs to happen. And I'm glad that it's low key, because it means that the tide is turning, folks. Finally, the tide is turning, right? On this issue anyway, the tide is turning. People don't like the idea that children are being roped into this. Now, over in the UK, there's a TV show that I grew up with all my life, and some of you might know. It's called Doctor Who. And there was an actor on that called David Tennant. Now, David Tennant married an actress, Georgia, and she's a feminist trans activist, right? This fella just yesterday accepted an award, an LGBTQ plus award, and went up on the podium and told the I think it's the person that's in charge of children over in the UK, whatever ministry there is, and told her to shut up, basically. Right? This is the type of world that we're living in. But celebrities push all of this as well. Do you know what I mean? But it's about time that the ordinary people, the people that see what impact this really has, because celebrities, you know, they live in their own little bubble, right? And they do this to their children without knowing the consequences, and that's their own stupidity. But because they do it, they want the rest of us to do it. And I'm sorry, that's not going to fly with me or any other person out there that's a parent. So well done to the people in Newtown Mount Kennedy for actually standing up against that, you know, because these are the type of things that need to be pushed out of our society. Right, the bottom line is, I don't care if you're LGBTQ plus, right? Be LGBTQ plus, right? Be yourself if that's yourself, right? The bottom line is, leave our kids out of it, right? The rest of us get on with our lives, right? The most of the LGBTQ plus community wants to get on with it as well, but you guys keep ruining it for them all and ruining it for everybody else. So just piss off. Simple. Anyway, on to our next topic. Oh, by the way, I will be covering in relation to this LGBTQ plus stuff. So what's the date? It's the 26th. So tomorrow, on the 27th of June, join us for a special session, info session, dedicated to those who are LGBTQ plus and want to become parents. In this session, you will learn more about becoming parents via fostering, gaining valuable insight into experience and application process, and learn about the ongoing support available from Origins. LGBTQ plus, that's a hashtag, hashtag foster dads, hashtag become foster carer, hashtag foster care. And that is originsfostercare.ie, and they're having an online seminar in relation to LGBTQ plus and children, right? Now I went in and I had a look at our website, and I will be showing you the website tomorrow. That the plan was to do it today, but because of this migration pact thing and there was other stuff to talk about, I will do this tomorrow, right? But I'll put the screenshot up on the community wall. I don't know if I've already done it, but if I haven't, I'll throw it up. But anyway, I've had a look at our website, and what the startling thing that I read from it was is they have access to 6,000 kids in this country. Plus. It said 6,000 plus. And they're promoting LGBTQ plus, and they're helping LGBTQ plus people become parents. So we're going to be looking deeper into this. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't, there's always going to be this debate whether same-sex couples should have kids, right? And it's a debate that's been raging ever since I can remember, right? And I'm 40 odd years on this planet, right? So that debate never really happened and never really is going to go away. But when you've got a place like Origins Foster Care, now I did read they say that all of the people that work for the place are Garda vetted and all of that, and that would be easy to disprove, but I'm pretty sure they are all Garda vetted. The problem is we've seen in this country, right, kids are going missing. Kids are going missing, right? And you've got agencies like Origins Foster Care.ie who have access to 6,000 children. So I don't know if I've put that up. Do you know what I'll do? I'll check now. If I haven't, I'll throw it up now for you, and you can have a look. I'll put it on the community wall. Let's see that I throw it up. I'm pretty sure. No, I didn't. Right. I'm throwing it up on the community wall now. You can have a look yourselves. So they're having an online seminar tomorrow, but obviously, we won't be able to see it because obviously you have to be in the foster system. But I find it incredibly disturbing. So yes, so Origins Foster Care. Right, it's up on the wall now, so if you want to go and look at it and you will see what I'm talking about, it's up on the community wall right now. Go and check it out there. Right, so let's move on because the next topic is going to, that topic is bad enough that we've just spoke about there. But we really do have a serious problem. Oh, someone's just blocked me because I shared the post. That's sad. Okay. Anyway, where is it? It should be down here somewhere. It's absolutely disgusting, actually. Where did I put it? Hold on. Who have we got in the chat actually while I'm doing what I'm doing? We've got Donna in the chat, Rex in the chat, Emmanuel in the chat, welcome. Anne Marie in the chat as well. Neil is in the chat, welcome. And we've got Noka in the chat as well. Welcome everybody, welcome. Don't forget to like and share the stream if you can. Uh, right. So what's happening is you are all well aware that the migrants that are in this country, the ones that haven't been are not in IPAS centres, have been living in tents all over Dublin City and in some parts of the country as well. But Dublin City, as you have all seen, is full of tents. So guess what their plan is? I mean, it's absolutely shocking. So apparently, anti-homeless measures will be taken around the Grand Canal area, right? So which means if there's benches on the Grand Canal, they're going to do what they've done all over Europe. They're going to put spikes on them, right? They're going to put up things to stop people from uh, pitching up tents. Now, I'm just going to say this and be blunt. I think that's wrong. Now, not wrong because you're stopping the migrants, right? Why should the rest of us have to suffer because they decide to camp there? Irish homeless people hardly camp on the canal, if any, right? They'll always find somewhere else to camp, right? They don't camp in areas where all of these migrants are camping in. So why doesn't the Gardaí actually just do their job, right? Didn't Simon Harris make it clear that if they didn't move from a particular area, that some of these people would face charges? They'd be breaking the law. So why isn't the An Garda Síochána doing their job and arresting these people from camping outside the Grand Canal? Right? The people of that area should not have to have anti-homeless measures put in that place because the government and the Garda Síochána are failing to do their job. Right? The bottom line is the government that promised these people the moon and the stars, they haven't been able to deliver on that. So rather than admit that they've made a mistake, they're continuing to bring them in for starters, right? And they're letting them camp wherever they want. So I think it's wrong. I really do. I think it's wrong. I think the government should be doing their job. I think Helen we'll get on to McAtee in a minute, by the way. I forgot to put it in the header. But we're talking about McEntee today as well. Don't you worry about that. But it's just absolutely disgusting that these people are wasting taxpayers' money. Because remember, this is going to cost taxpayers money, right? When the easy solution is, right, you've promised these guys the moons and the stars. Unfortunately, there's no moons and stars for them. So round them up, right? Drive them to Dublin fucking airport, right? Book fucking flights and send them home. And that's how you clear up air streets, right? It's absolutely disgusting. And I've seen it in European cities, and I think it is disgusting, right? Because you wouldn't have a homeless, you are indigenous people, you wouldn't have a homeless crisis if the government was actually working. Right? If the government was working for the people, there'd be no Irish people homeless. Right? There wouldn't be if they were doing their jobs properly. Right? They created this mess. And instead of cleaning it up, they're going to waste more of their money now Dublin's going to end up like a fucking prison. There's going to be fences everywhere. Right? Benches. You won't be able to sit on benches anymore. Right? Or you will. They'll have the bars on them to stop people from fucking sleeping on because they can't do their jobs. So we got absolutely it is. It's shocking. And then you got Helen McEntee in the doll, saying that Ireland has a very big racist problem. We're all a bunch of fucking racists, basically. I mean, the woman is still, and I don't know, I've noticed a change in her. I don't know what it is, but she seems more, I don't know, she seems, it's not confident. I think that's the wrong word, but there's something about her where she's very fucking cocky, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way the woman is behaving. She's absolutely intent on destroying this country. There was an incident on a Dublin bus. A Canadian was attacked in this country, by the way, and was seriously injured. Right, there was an attack on a bus. Right, blood everywhere. Right, I can't post those photographs up on YouTube because they're very bloody, you know. But the city has gone completely crazy. A beach in Dublin, right? A big fight broke out. Have a look at the video. I'm saying no more, right? But it's obvious that we have a huge problem in this country. And she's the Minister of Justice. And she can't even get control of this country, right? She can't. She's over our head. The government's over our head. They created this and they can't even solve it. So what are they going to do? They're going to try shut us up. So I don't think the anti-homeless measures are going to go down well with people. And I honestly think that something has to be done about that, because that's absolutely ridiculous. They created this mess. And yeah, that's their solution. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. You've created this mess, right? You've insisted that Ireland isn't full, right? So you fix it. So, oh, by the way, that incident in the beach was Borough Beach, Sutton, and just go and look at the video. By the way, to all those that are outraged about Natasha O'Brien, and I'm just going to briefly, because I don't really want to discuss her on my channel, because I think there's a lot more going on with that woman than we're led to believe, to be quite honest with you. Her behaviour is very bizarre. But in this video on Sutton Beach, right, there is a particular part of the video where a black man pushes an Irish woman to the ground. So the question I have to ask is, to the left, is where's his fucking outrage? Where's his outrage for that incident? Oh, I'll tell you why there's no outrage, because these are all BLM, and these all think Black Lives Matter, but if they do act like that, they have a reason, isn't it? Because they were all oppressed and all of that bullshit, isn't it? But none of these kids were oppressed. They wouldn't even know what oppression is, right? Because they haven't grew up in that time. Okay? So, again, this is the result. And I said this. We've been seeing incidents all over the world where black people are just beating up on white people for no other reason but because of the colour of their skin. But it's according to the media and everybody in the left. It's not racism. They have a reason to doing it, and there's excuses. Even when they loot and riot, there's an excuse for them. See, this is what happened with BLM. They turned all of the people into victims when they weren't victims in the first place. The world was actually moving in the right direction before all of this bollocks. Right? Before the left got a foothold everywhere, right, the country was actually, the world was actually going in the right direction. Equality, we were actually getting there. Right? Racism, I'm not saying racism disappeared. There were still elements of racism, but it wasn't as prevalent that it would have been 10, 15, 20 years ago. We made huge progress. And they've just ruined it overnight. We're back to square one now. And this is what's happening now. When a black person sees a white person, right, there's genuine anger there and there's hatred. Right? But according to everybody, that's not racist. Racism only works one way, apparently. So basically what's happening, exactly, it's open season. Look at what's happening in South Africa. All of the white farmers being butchered and murdered, but nobody is saying nothing about it. Right? But yeah, no outrage for that fella pushing your woman, basically dragging your woman down to the ground, and then he tried to kick her, but he was pushed back. But listen, I'm not saying that the Irish youth in this country don't cause problems, because they do, and I want to make that clear, they do. But why do they do that? It's because their government, the systems in place have failed them, right? The youth in this country feel worthless, right? Some drop out of school and some turn to crime, okay? We've got to change that. So the bottom line is that, you know, whether people like, you know, the left will say you're being, you know, you're privileged, all of this, but be under no illusion, man. We're under threat right now. And the worst thing about it is, right, men especially, right, and you're seeing all the stuff that's happening in the country right now. Irish men now are the focus because of Cahill, right, and his actions and the judge's actions. And I'm not saying what he did to that young one wasn't bad. It was, right, and everybody agrees with that. But there's something off here when the judge lets him off. There's something going on, and I reckon that was deliberate, because there is an attack on Irish men in this country, just like there is in every other country around the world. I mean, that's what they do. They go after the men, you know. Try to take us out of the equation. Well, it's not going to happen, because Irish men are not going to tolerate that bollocks here, I can tell you. Right? The bottom line is, he should be locked up, but I think there's more to the story. I'm not saying it justifies his actions, because he still should be locked up. But there's more to that. I'm telling you now, there is more to that. And it's just weird that the judge let him off. But there are too many incidents, right? Too many cases. Not just Irish men getting off, but migrant men getting off as well. The whole system in this country is corrupt. The judges in this country are too lenient when it comes to certain crimes in this country, right? But Natasha and all of those people that are behind her now are going to weaponize this to come for all of us, right? And somehow, magically, they will try spin this, you know, to try and justify, I'm telling you, because they're weirdos, to try and justify the hate speech laws and all of this, man. I'm telling you, this whole situation has red flags all over it. So that's the thing, man. There's too many, the system is broken, but I would question why that judge, there's something terrible wrong with the system if that's the judge's way of thinking. The bottom line is, you know, as I said, not justifying any action. He deserves to be locked up because it was disgusting, right? But there is more to this. But that judge, I'm telling you, Judge Nolan as well, there's a couple of other judges as well. There's something fucking terribly wrong with the system, right? Letting all of these people fucking off, right? And yes, I've admitted, I've said it, we do have a domestic violence problem in Ireland. We always have. We always have, right? You go back to back in the days. I'm telling you, We always did, and we never really fully addressed it in this country. So yes, we do need to address it, and we do need to reform the law, right? But not the way the lefty twats want it. Not the way the lefty twats want it. The thing is, they've just capitalised on this poor young one now, and she's loving every second of it. Listen, if I was caught, right here's how corrupt this system is, right? I'm just going to give you two examples, right? Say I went out and I deleted someone, right? I'd get a life sentence, right? But if I'm good behavior, I'm out after about 9 years, right? Say I'm found with a few kilos of the white powder, right? I will get around 24, 25 years, right? Around that. But I won't get out on good behavior. I'll have to do the whole stretch, right? So you get, believe it or not, you get convictions, right? Longer convictions for lesser crimes in this country in some cases, right? So the system is wrong. It is broken and has been for a long time. But they're just going to monopolize this whole situation now and use it to attack Irish men. They don't really give a shit about Natasha, and I wish she'd wake up. They don't actually give a fuck about her or give a fuck about what happened to her. They just give a fuck about using the situation to their benefit. And that's the sad thing about this. Nobody, and they keep saying the far right doesn't do this and doesn't do that. Listen, the so-called far right that you call them are just as disgusted as all you muppets are, right? The difference is that actually we're being a bit more logical about it, and we're actually saying let's not use this girl to push something. Let's actually sort out the issue at hand and do actually something about it, rather than use it for political gain like some of you gobshites out there do. And the most ironic thing about these people is we had Bride up there, you know, getting photographs taken with her. And what's her face? Ruth, whatever our face is. But all of these people that passed the referendum that allowed abortion in this country. Do you know what I mean? So that's the ironic thing about it. The people that like don't give a fuck about life, all of a sudden give a fuck about Natasha's life. And that's the hypocritical nature of the left. Okay? The hypocritical nature of the left. You have no problem in letting babies die. Your body, your choice. Remember that? Right? But yeah, here you are now. You fucking hypocrites, get away from me. We got Dave in the chat. We got Anne-Marie. We got Fanula. Welcome back, Fanula. Nice to see you. We got Jim. We got Dean in the chat as well. We got New Life in the chat as well. Welcome. Turning Guns is in the chat. And we got Rory there in the chat. Welcome. Oh yeah, well, yeah, we don't get into the Larry Moore. I mean, like that whole Larry Murphy stuff. I mean, they've linked him to so many. Well, they think he's responsible for. We have to be careful on YouTube, but yeah, that Larry Murphy fella, Jesus. Paddy Frank, good man. Noel, welcome, Paddy. Nice to see you. Royce, let's move on. We'll get to the migration pact now in just a minute. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, obviously the last stream I was talking about Clonmel and all of that other stuff. So I want to give you a bit of an update. I suppose I should, because the two lads that we spoke about have come to me. The fella that did the video said sent me a message to say that was nothing personal, and kind of explained that they're a bit wary because of the outside influence that was agitating and which is understandable. But the fella that did the video came to me. The fella that said he would boot me back to where I came from apologized. He actually apologized publicly. And you know, so that's all done, and it's drawn. The line has been drawn under that. I still have offered. I still have offered my support if they so choose to accept. So as far as I'm done with it. A line's being drawn under it. But there is an update from Clonmel. They've just destroyed, I think, the last fairy ring, and they're cutting down a 200-year-old tree as we speak now. So yeah, that's the update from Clonmel. There's something going on in County Westmeath as well. Beds were delivered to a building in County Westmeath. We're keeping an eye on Blessington. As we said, Thornton Hall as well. There's a meeting happening in Thornton Hall in July. I think I threw it up, I think. So there was someone in the chat that actually told us about that. So there's a meeting going on in Thornton Hall as well. So everybody, look, I've got me suspicions because the nationalists that got voted in, yeah, they've been doing some work. Actually, Gavin Pepper, just to tell you what he's because he's been putting up some posts. So where is it? Because he did put up. Yeah, so after raising my question with Dublin City Council about the need for primary care centre in Finglas, I'm pleased to inform you that the new development will commence soon. So he's only a few days in office. I said he'd be judged on what he does. And already, apparently, he's gotten the go-ahead for a new development for a primary care centre in the Finglas area. So, you know, credit where credit is due. And that's what we need to be seeing from our councillors. You know, there you go. He's only a couple of days, well, you know, about a week or so in the job already, and he's already making some progress. Also, he also explained, along with Maliki, why he abstained from the vote, and you know, it was a reasonable explanation. Also, I did see something else. Where is it? So he gets the primary care centre. Now, as you know, this government has been spending billions on a new children's hospital at the site at St. James's, which they shouldn't have put it there in the first place. They should have either used the existing site and extended that existing site, or they should have moved to a different site, which I think they wanted to put in Tallaght originally. So a paediatric consultant left in tears after seeing the design flaws in the children's hospital. You're not going to believe this, folks. So they built the children's hospital, okay? And guess what the design flaw is? You aren't going to believe this. You aren't going to believe this, right? Think about it logically, right? What type of access would the hospital need? There, I'm not giving you a clue, right? They're at the building a hospital without any wheelchair access. I repeat, they're at to spend the billions on a hospital that shouldn't have been built there in the first place and has gone over budget, and it turns out that they haven't actually got wheelchair access. Now, this is what I would like to find out, and if there's anybody, I don't know if councillors can find this out, but someone needs to investigate, because every huge project that has ever been undertaken in this country, bar a few, and I know there have been a few that have came in under budget, but the majority of the projects that they've done in this country have gone over budget, right? And there has to be a reason. Okay? Now, the first thing that jumps to mind to me is corruption, right? Because look at what all the developers did during the boom. So for me, I would say corruption, right? But something needs to be done here. I mean, the hospital's over budget by a few billion already. It's still not completed. And now there's no wheelchair access. No wheelchair access, man. Like, what kind of... What... I mean, that's the... That... To me, that'd be the first thing that you'd actually, when you're designing the fucking hospital, that'd be the first thing that you'd factor in, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, apparently, there's a lot of people, not happy with with the, with the hospital. But again, where's the Minister of Health? The Minister of Health should be answering for this. This is absolutely fucking disgraceful. This is... I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't even know why I'm laughing, because it's serious. We need another children's hospital. Do you know what I mean? We actually need it. And they fucked it up. The one thing... Listen, right? Do you remember they spoke about building the big super prison? Right? If they can't even build a fucking hospital properly, how the fuck are they going to build a super prison? The first day the prisoners enter that prison, they'll fucking find a place. They'll be all out. They'll all get out, they will. There'll be design flaws. I wouldn't trust us to build that now. And Irish people built the fucking world. They can't even build a fucking hospital. And then this government was talking about building a super prison. And why do we need a super prison? Well, it all harps back to your policy on migration, doesn't it? We wouldn't need a super fucking prison for our population. We do need better prisons, but we don't need a super prison. No way. And another one is the beds can't fit into the... No way. No, that's even worse. I mean, that's even worse. I only knew about the wheelchair access. Oh my God. The doors are small. No way. No fucking way. They can't be that stupid. That is absolute... Oh my God, this country. This country. Oh my God, we can't even build a hospital. We can't even build a hospital. Right. What else have we got? Right, the EU Migration Pact. So, uh, it seems to be on for tonight. Tonight at 2200 hours or something, which is 10 o'clock. So, We're going to have to see what's going to happen. Apparently, a couple of the parties are going to vote against it. And there's even rumours, even Sinn Féin now may vote against it. But this will be Sinn Féin. Listen, if Sinn Féin, look, Sinn Féin don't get any credit whatsoever, but if they do vote against this, it'll be good, right, in the long run. Fuck them anyway, but let them vote, let them reject this if the rest of them are going to reject it. This cannot pass, folks. If this passes, the landscape of this country changes overnight. Okay? And there's nothing stopping the government. And as I said, you know, no revolution is happening in this country, unfortunately, because the majority of the people wouldn't actually support it. And I made that point very clear. As I said, the issue is resolved now. But remember, you know, the bottom line is, after talking to some people in Clonmel, I know why they're very guarded, right? There's a lot of mistrust out there. There's a lot of people out there that believe that people will just come down to agitate, so communities won't work together, right? They're very suspicious on who goes down into their communities, right? And I kind of understood that. But as I tried to explain, this is the time not to forget. We have to kind of come together. We've no choice now at this stage. It's the only way that we're going to actually get anywhere. But that's why a revolution in this country is never going to happen. Because even if a few do start one, right, the rest of the country is not going to get behind them, unfortunately. So there's nothing really. We're all keeping an eye, but I do find it very. I do find it very. I do find it very suspicious that this fucking thing is not happening until 22:39. So 20 to 11. The motion reproposed approval by Dáil Éireann of the regulation and the directive of the European Parliament and of the Council of International Protection, Asylum and Migration Amendment. Motion reaffordable. So this is happening tonight. But why so late? Why so late? Something dodgy is going on here. So it's tonight, folks, and we're going to hopefully come on later on. Fantastic. Right here, just something breaking here. Emotional scenes outside Leinster House after the assisted human reproduction legislation, which addresses surrogacy and IVF, completes its passage through the Oireachtas. And there's a lot of people out there crying their eyes, mate. Crying. Now, on the migration, back to the migration, because this is the important thing before I wrap up here now. I've thrown up a couple of videos with Tracy, who has explained this whole migration thing. And in one of them, it has all the links that you need, right? Get in contact with our local councillor, our local TD, senator, right? Start getting the emails out. I've literally sent loads. People that I know have sent loads. Get them to vote against this, folks, right? This is our last opportunity, right? And it has worked because some have said that they're going to vote against it. So it does work, it does still work getting in contact with your member of government, right? Some of them might be stuck up little wankers, but when they're looking for votes, they will fucking answer you. Trust me, right? And make it very clear to them that if they push this through, they lose your vote, even though they're going to lose your vote anyway. But don't let them know that, right? But just tell them if they accept this, they lose a vote. Bruce Leaf is in the house, and he says Ireland still has time. Don't give up yet. I agree with you. Game and dad and son only after coming in. What's the latest on the Pact play as well? The vote happens tonight, 20 to 11, or the discussion, whatever. I think it's the vote, 20 to 11. So for anybody, I don't know if you can get Oireachtas TV or RTE News. RTE News. They have the RTE News channel. If you can get the RTE News channel, guys, for anybody that's international, you may be able. You may be able to get it there. Also, what I'll try to do is I'll get the link to RTE News for you, and I'll throw it up on the community tab just to see if you can actually get into. Maybe you may need to use a VPN or whatever, but so you can keep informed if you are outside of Ireland and wondering what's going on, and especially if you're Irish people out there that are living abroad and wondering what's going on in the country, keep an eye. So what I'll do is, if it's good news, there'll be no point in me coming on live, because it's good news. I could do the live stream tomorrow when I'm covering the other thing. But if it's bad news, I'll be back on. So if you don't see me tonight, then it's either being postponed again or delayed, or it's good news. But I'll let you know in the community tab anyway, right? But I'm off now. I'll keep an eye on that, and as I said, if there's any breaking news on that, I will let you know. Okay. But thanks for tuning in. Look, we're still going. We could still do this. If the government gets beaten here, we could be looking towards that election as we spoke about. So there could be a silver lining to all of this, right? It has to be defeated. If it gets defeated, I think that's it for the government. Personally, I think they'll be on shaky ground then, and they'll be a spent force. And I think Simon will call his little general election. So this is what could happen. So this is why we need this to be rejected. So I'll let you know later on anyway. Listen, to all of you guys that have supported me throughout all of this, I want to say thank you very much. And to everybody out there in these communities that are fighting, remember that offer of support is there. But keep up the good fight. Keep doing what you are doing. As I always say, and I have said, anybody that's being out there, is doing their part. And, we see all of those communities. And well done to Newtown, Mount Kennedy. It's about time that this other nonsense was ran out of places. The bottom line is, listen, if you just want to celebrate you being whatever, right, then celebrate it in your own time, away from everybody else, because we don't flaunt our crap in front of yous. And I'm sorry, the TV and entertainers bring all of that up. Well, the bottom line is we are the majority on the planet, and that's not our fault. Like, again, everything seems to be our fault. You know what I mean? Just get on with your lives like the rest of us, and that won't be an issue. Anyway, look, tonight is an important night, and hopefully it goes our way. If it doesn't, well, we'll see what happens. I'll be keeping an eye, because this will be a momentous decision if it passes. So it'll be interesting to see how the nationalists that have been voted in, what their plan of action is then after that. What do they propose we do as a people now to combat this, and stand up against this? So I'll be looking to them, for the answers. We shouldn't have to come up with the answers ourselves. This is why these people got voted in. But as I said, Gavin has been getting his work done, stuff. You know what I mean? So he's gotten that care centre up and running, and fair play, But people will be looking to them if this passes. What their plan of action is going to be? Is there going to be a national protest? Is there going to be something else discussed? What? Because if it passes, we really need to be having a serious conversation of what the next path we take is, without a shadow of a doubt. Anyway, Jennifer, welcome, and thank you for that. Laura, welcome. Thank you for that as well. And we've got Death Tool, Toll, Snowflakes. Welcome. Nice to have you all here. I'll see you later on. Have a good one, folks. Enjoy the rest of your evening if you can. For all of us Irish out there, we'll be keeping an eye on things, and hopefully it goes our way tonight. I think it's absolutely. I just will end with this: the arrogance of the Irish government, who think they can actually pass this without it going to a referendum, right? Without it going to the Irish people, is an absolute disgrace. But remember, they never spoke about this when they went to the people looking for election. So everything that they've done, it hasn't been part of the government plan, and they have changed what they promised that they were going to do when they asked for election those years ago, along with Fianna Fáil and all the other parties they coalesce with. This was not part of their plan. They have no right to do this, and that this should have went to the Irish people. And I believe if it went to the Irish people, it would be rejected, and that's why they won't do it. But hopefully there are people within that house. Listen, yous have gotten stick during the local elections now, the European elections. Yous know how angry people are now, right? If yous make the same mistake again now and yous pass this, well then that's it, right? Yous are done. Yous are done. Yous ain't getting re-elected. Yous will lose. Yous are whitewashed for yous all anyway. Should be. It should be anyway. But there definitely will be in some cases. Some parties hopefully will never exist again. Anyway, have a good one, folks, and I'll talk to you soon. Fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed now. And hopefully I'm back with some good news. Bye-bye. Take care.